Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly. And we've got a fire on aisle 9. So going to cover that, plus a bunch of business news. So before I get into it, please take a second. As always, like the video, hit the subscribe button, share it with your family, friends, and anybody who likes pure video entertainment. Plus, don't forget to join our email list because we have an email coming out this week. And let's get right into it. There was a Walgreens in the Miami-Dade area, and a man walked in by the name of Felix Hidalgo. And he walked in and wanted his prescription and said, "Hey, I want my prescription." And they looked him up in the computer and said they couldn't find it. And he proceeded to lose his mind and started to get very loud in Spanish, they said. And one of the employees walked over who understood Spanish and said, "You can't speak to us that way. You can't talk to us like that," because Mr. Hidalgo was using profanity in Spanish. And they said, "Listen, I don't think your prescription's here." "Oh, no, it's here. Give it to me now." So Felix lost his mind. And Felix said, "Listen, this place is going to burn if you don't give me my prescription." And they were like, "Sir, please leave." So the pharmacist looks up couple minutes later and realizes that aisle 9 is on fire, completely ablaze. And she flips out. She walks over and sees Mr. Hidalgo, and he's now in the makeup department. And he is stuffing his pocket with makeup and different cosmetic brands. And they have to call the fire department. They wanted him to leave, and then they realized this is the guy that told us he was going to burn the store down if he didn't get his prescription. So the pharmacist said, "You have to leave." And he decided to steal blankets and things like that on the way out as they called the fire department to put it out. And what do you guys know? He was at the wrong Walgreens. He was at the Miami-Dade Walgreens. He was supposed to be at the Miami Walgreens where they had his prescription. So the police start looking for Felix and realize that he has an outstanding warrant. And he's got, criminal mischief charges, needless to say, other felonies, and just a bunch of bad stuff. So, needless to say, the police confront him, and he says, "Listen, you saw what I did at the Walgreens. The airport's next." So this guy, not only did he step up his game, he stepped it up. I mean, he stepped it up big time, federally, in fact. So he made a bunch of threats, and they didn't like that. And he also said he was going to clickety-clack everybody, if you know what I mean. And but what I'm getting at is that retail crime is insane right now, and it is absolutely out of control with how bad it's getting. And Mr. Hidalgo, who's an idiot, who's an absolute imbecile, who was at the wrong location from the beginning, and if he would have went to the right pharmacy, he would have gotten his prescription. Okay. The Bureau of Labor Statistics is one of those things that, let's see, the colonoscopy, a pap smear, it's on that level of like things to do, of fun, root canal, okay, that's probably the top of the list from those things. Anyways, Bureau of Labor Statistics, reading that stuff is out of control. But what they did admit was that all of our labor numbers that we've had in 2023 have been completely bogus. Now, as Powell talks today, what are we going to learn? Seriously, what are we going to learn? That everything's fake? Because I am telling you, what do you believe right now? What do you believe? Do you believe anything when it comes to these labor numbers? Because I think that I can't believe a thing they tell us at all. When the labor bill, the labor numbers are off another 360,000. Unemployment is up here, not down here. People are not spending money. It is summertime still, guys. And guess what? I'm at a resort my buddy stays at and invites me to, and I film and stuff like that. But this place is dead right now. Dead. Okay? You want something to do? You want to be alone? Come here. Look at this place. It's beautiful. Okay? Real estate is having a real problem. Better.com. Wow, Dan, why do I know Better.com? This was the jackass that fired everybody in 2021 via Zoom. Hey, if you're on this call, you're out of a job. Now, there is a thing called a SPAC, which is a way of raising money and getting investments. And, they're effective. You can go public with it. You can raise money. The problem with it is that when you have companies like Better.com, when they go public, you can't really limit the sale of some of these people. You can write it up to where a company can go public and then they can't sell their stock for a set period of time. Well, the SPAC that put this together, the original investors, they had nothing but problems with this. And they realized that when Better.com went public, think about this, the stock lost 95% of its value in one day. One day. We want out of this place. So what happens with everybody selling is the price drop to the floor. To the floor. So absolutely chaotic, absolutely insane, absolutely worthless at the end of the day, but kind of fitting. Better.com isn't anything that I sit back and look at and go, wow, I really want to get myself into Better.com. Now, the next thing that's crazy is the real estate investors right now that are out there. Think about this. Real estate investing in general has had such a problem since 2016 that the numbers of people that have lost money on real estate has significantly gone up to the tune of almost 17% of all houses that are purchased for investment right now are losing money. That is crazy, guys. That's absolutely crazy. And, the investors that go out there, the average house, less than 5% lose value right now. But that's a significant number. We're hearing that this number is going up right now. So people bought their house at the top of the market and things are going down, going down, going down, going down. That's what we're experiencing right now. And these investors that paid, top dollar for things, don't worry, it's going to continue to rise. And we don't have to worry about Airbnb. It's not going to be a big deal. It's a huge deal, guys. The fact that you have municipalities and cities and states and countries that are saying that we don't want these short-term rentals here, just a matter of time where it's going to destroy everything. Destroy everything. So, share your thoughts on this stuff. Here's the thing that I get a kick out of. I get a headline today that was mortgage rates are dropping at a significant clip right now. And I'm like, really, where are they dropping to? Okay. Here's the thing. Mortgage rates dropped from 7.8% to 7.6%. You want to sit there and think that that's good? How do you sit there and celebrate that? Who's going to sit there and say that that's a great interest rate? Okay. And again, oh my gosh, Dan, it's 0.2%. Who cares? 7.6%. Once again, gold credit, gold everything. And don't forget, there's a fire on aisle 9, which I got a kick out of this guy because of how bad it was. And I just thought this is the sign of the times for crime, for everything that we're seeing right now, which is it's getting out of control and it is just getting worse. And no matter where you live, it's bad. Every time I do stories about retail crime, I get sent a ton of different things. So this is great. A guy that lost his mind over the prescription and he was at the wrong pharmacy. So share your thoughts and let me know if you've seen anything like that. Yesterday, I spoke about identity theft and how, you need to protect yourself and it's just getting worse. Well, you need to be leery of this all the time. And one thing that's happening right now is hotel crime is increasing. And there is a hotel out of the UK that 2 people sent me this story. I want to thank Stephen for this one. And Pembroke Hotel, the Dolphin Hotel in Pembroke, a woman got access to the hotel and it wasn't her hotel, room. And they stripped the entire hotel room of everything, everything. Okay. They took the fixtures, they took the faucets, they took the bed, they took the furniture, they took everything. They stripped the entire hotel of everything. Isn't that wild, guys? Okay. Well, this led to more crime. This led to more stories of people that, you know, when you go to a hotel, do you leave access for somebody else? Oh yeah, my girlfriend may show up. Yeah, she'll be by. Okay? Be very specific when you do this. Give them their looks, give them what they look like, you know, how tall they are, do they wear glasses, things like that, because I am telling you, you're seeing these people that are doing this crime in such a way that they're breaking into rooms, stealing everything. And if you have access to the safe, put everything in the safe. Put your passport, put your ID, put your wallet, everything in the safe, and come up with a code. That's the other thing is, you know, anything that's, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, things like that, change things like that, guys, because that's what people are trying, and they try to access those codes when they do that. Isn't this place beautiful? It's got the volleyball courts, there's a basketball court down there, you know, a golfing thing, and then you get the little rings, wristbands, so you can walk through and have security and stuff like that. Next thing is, you know, the labor market's great. Everybody's doing good. There's nothing to be concerned about. And then you have T-Mobile that just announces that they're going to get rid of 5,000 people. 7% of their staff is going to be let go right now. So T-Mobile, 7%. Nice phone company, good service. Know a lot of people that have it. And, you know, but they're going to take a huge charge. You know, they made almost $1 billion more than they did the previous year. They're going to take a huge charge, $456 million charge for the write-offs of employees and things like that they have to let go right now. Wild. But everything's good, guys. Remember that. There's nothing, you know, to look at here. Kevin O'Leary again. I thought it was an old story from last week. It says the numbers are just bad and people don't want to get themselves ready. And you really do need to look at, you know, I don't have a sponsor on this video, but you do need to look at gold. You do need to look at silver. I constantly buy that stuff. I constantly buy physical silver. I love inexpensive silver. I love to have it as inexpensive as possible. The coin shops, pawn shops, private parties, things like that. I tend to not pay more than $5, you know, premium per ounce, and make your decision on things like that. You know, I have a friend of mine that likes to buy all these collector's ounces and different things that stack and fit on top of each other. But I got some really good advice from a coin shop owner about 2.5 years ago, where he said, Dan, if everything goes bad, do you think I'm going to care if you've got some collectible piece? You're paying a premium now, which could be $25 an ounce for some of these ounces of silver. And you think I care about that? You think I'm going to care if I'm paying spot for this stuff? And that's the other thing, is that if you own gold, you know, hey, you can't eat gold, Dan. What are you going to do with all that gold? Well, here's the thing. I have different places that I could drive to today with an ounce of gold, and they would give me spot price for it today for an ounce of gold in green cash. Oh, I want some 1s and 5s in there too, buddy. Okay? You should have that. Okay? Food, stock up, stack up, get your, you know, one thing the financial prepper, friend of mine, Chris, and his wife, Stacy, always say to me is, if you buy food now, it's saving money, because it's only going to go up and there's going to be a shortage at some point, and you need to be ahead of the game and you need to act as if there's going to be a shortage. And if you do that, you won't have to worry about that. So, makes good sense to me. Let me show you guys around this place real quick. They've got all these barbecues out here, which is really cool. And they've got like the fire pit. This thing's got a gas fire pit that you can just flip a switch and the fire ring will come on, which is really cool, you know. But at night, this thing gets a ton of people out here, music and stuff like that. But man, summer day, nobody here. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that absolutely just unbelievable? You know, that's the Pacific Ocean out there. Got the mini golf course out here, and you've got the soft court. But the fire, I just turned it on for you guys. So, you know, preparation. We're living through a time when things are getting crazier. People are breaking and stealing hotel rooms. People in San Francisco are just breaking into cars and stealing luggage out of cars. The traveling to Sacramento and last week, when the airport recommended, hey, do you guys have luggage? Make sure it's down if you guys rent a car and that you don't have it visible. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So it's just getting out of control, guys. It really is. And people need to look at it. But the stock market's teetering right now. Things are very difficult right now. You need to look at this right now and get yourself ready. Prepare yourself. The advantage to a credit union over a bank is that the credit unions generally don't invest in certain derivatives and things that are speculative like that. Yes, they do loans, and yes, they do auto loans and things that are going to be a huge problem for credit unions down the road. But the thing about this is that you can unload a car very quickly over unloading a house, over the long term. You're going to see real estate that is overpaid for. I just showed you yesterday how in North Tustin, how you got houses for $1.9 million, and it's insane. But it's getting worse. And, again, you can walk into a credit union, you can ask for a financial statement, where Bank of America is going to laugh at you when you do that. Remember that. This next story puts a big smile on my face because we have talked a lot on this channel about the clown in chief. And it's not the guy you think it is. It's Jim Cramer from CNBC, who is a shill for everybody. And, they have really tried to get me into their investment fund for $450 a year. And no. Now, here's the best thing. Jim Cramer has an ETF, an exchange traded fund, based on his recommendations. And guess what? It just closed down. Want to know why? Because it couldn't raise enough money, because there weren't enough saps out there to buy into Jim Cramer's advice, which is fake and which is awful. And, seriously, you can't make that up. You cannot make that up. Again, just give me lots of pleasure. It is anticipated in New York City that 1/3 of all desks are empty right now. 1/3. 1/3 of all desks are empty, and you are seeing more and more people that are not going in the office. So how do you overcome this? I spoke to somebody who worked at Bank of America who told me that their big problem right now in lending is getting people's value for their buildings and getting the true value of a building. And don't use my name. Okay, that's fine. But what they're seeing is that, what else can we lend you money from? Do you have any outstanding receivables, Dan? Do you have anything other than that building? How about this? Bank of America is requiring, think about this, that the buildings for the owners now be owner occupied. So, Mr. Smith, you better have an office there, and you better have 51% of the office space, because then you have a vested interest in the building. It's not happening, guys. Dr. Rich Guy goes out and buys himself a building, and the last thing I'm going to do is go to Pacoima. I'm never going there. I just want the nail salon to pay their rent and shut up. That's what I want. So, big problems are coming. Now, Lyft, Uber, Lyft, Lyft, they step forward, and they cut half of their office space down during the health crisis up until today. Well, this week, things are changing. We want you in the office. So if everybody showed up, there wouldn't be enough office space for everybody. Isn't that awesome? What are you going to do? Well, we need you in the office or you won't have a job. So that's interesting. Interesting. Now, I don't have the number yet, but Geico, the insurance company, I got some good news. I went to Geico. They just laid off thousands of people. Customer service, IT, commercial, inspectors, people that go out and do damage for vehicles and check all that stuff. Gone, finished, done with the company. So what does this mean? Is Geico done? Are they going down? Are we going to see a major insurance company go down? What do you think? It's funny. The insurance people I talk to, wow, if this California hurricane would have been bad, this would have been the blow. So in other words, they're looking for a reason to break up with us, okay? Which means you need to break up with them first, okay? I always, my wife seems distant. She's getting all dressed up and she's all hot. Well, how's she doing at bowling? She's not bowling anymore. She's going out with new friends. And before you know it, she's going to the biker bar and getting, hanging out there. You know what I mean? So, anyways, it's time to break up with them before they break up with you. Plus, we're seeing a real trend with insurance companies in California canceling people's policyholders. Are they going to pull out of California completely? Couple great stories from the insurance industry. Man, oh man, I've got people in the insurance that don't use my name, don't even, don't even reference this email, but here's the link to the site. And please don't do that. So this is real, guys. The Geico thing is real. But every business has insider magazines. That's the other thing, is that I don't care what you sell. Seriously. I talked to a guy who runs a blueberry farm yesterday. He was a super sharp guy and was looking to purchase the farm. And, one thing that happened with my background is that I did a lot of medical financing, a lot of biotech, a lot of devices, a lot of, treatments and things like that people could raise money for. But with COVID, what happened was you needed a different way to raise money. And you needed, alternatives, because here's the thing. Dr. Rich Guy, just because he's rich and he's not just going to invest in medical. And when he couldn't invest in medical, he looked for other things. So blueberry farms and things like that. I have buddies and, what they call family offices, where they invest their money with different investments, venture capital, and then, rich individuals, men and women, that want to put money in different opportunities. And I spoke to one guy today who is a really good friend of mine who is really sharp. But I'm like, how do we do this? Because this guy may bite off a huge chunk. He may not only do this one deal where he buys this, but he may buy 2 other farms. And how do we do this so that he's not overwhelmed and upside down, and make it so that he's got enough money to run the place? So anyways, fascinating stuff. But, a lot's happening, guys. Lots happening in the economy. And medical people will always need medical help. Doctors in the UK, starting yesterday and today, they are staging a strike right now because they're not paid enough. And at first, when you hear this, you go, what are these doctors complaining about? No, when you think about this, with inflation, with their increased costs, with dues and things that they have to pay there, they basically lost 16% a year. Even though they got a 6.5% recommended raise to £134,000 for the average doctor, they were losing money. And again, people hear numbers like that and they go, oh, Dan, if I made 165 grand, I'd be loaded. My wife and I, this and that. I understand. The point is that as you hear about these deals and as you put things together, you've got to look at your career. Every doctor I've talked to, every single one that I know of from their medical practice, has done less money in the last few years. Now, I know doctors that like, hey, Dan, I own 1/13 of this building. So every month, we have to, the medical group rents it from us and I get a check to the separate fund. Guys like that, they're fine. They're never going to be hurting. But these doctors, when you hear about that, you hear about the wages and how it's just being cut back. I'm hearing this from nurses, and it's funny. I know a nurse who's sick right now and got bronchitis and had to leave. Oh, we don't have anybody to take place for you. We got to cancel patients. And I'm like, wow, you could be the most valuable person at that place. It's time to renegotiate your deal when you go back. When's your next review? Oh, I haven't had one in 2 years. No, it's time to ask for one when you go back next week. And we talked about that. But have a plan, okay? Because remember, there's a fire on aisle 9 right now. It's such a metaphor for everything that's going on right now. It's such a sign of the times that things are as bad as we think they are, and that crime is escalating out of control to where, you have people losing it over nothing. That's the problem. That if I could give you some free advice, and that is stay away from people whenever, if you see anything escalated, as much as we want to sit there and go, what's this guy freaking out about? Get out of there. Leave. Be grateful that you didn't hear about it or read about it in the news. Oh, wow, I'm glad we got the hell out of there, Marge. Okay? So, let me know what you think about all this stuff so far. Plus, it's a beautiful day, too, so be happy. Don't start a fire on aisle 9. Okay? I'm going to finish this video with these last few stories. And the first one's out of New York State. Have you ever heard of an ADU, accessory dwelling unit? This is a second unit on your property, or third or fourth, whatever it is. They have money set aside for people to do that. And a lot of local jurisdictions have this money. New York's got $85 million right now set aside for that. That is crazy, guys. So, you can add a second unit. They'll help you pay $125,000 of the price of that. And I've seen people do it for a lot less. So there's that. American Airlines, they just signed a deal with their pilots where people are upset about something that got snuck in to the deal. Was the pilots now have the first right of what they call first class bulkhead. In other words, that first class front seat that somebody may have paid thousands of dollars for. No. We want to fly on it. Even if they're not flying home from a destination and they just want to fly, the pilots have the first right of refusal on this. So you're going to see a lot of angry people with this. And there's another airline, hey, they just did that too. So read the story below. It's absolutely fascinating. And Subway did sell for $9 billion. Now, here's the thing. The two founders of Subway both passed away. The most recent guy passed away in 2021, and his family put their shares into a charitable trust, and they own 50% of it. They own like 22% of the company when it all gets sold. So of their sale, they're going to get billions of dollars from this. That's going to go into a charitable fund that they're all going to work for and to get paid, to work for their family's charity. Isn't that crazy? And final story, which this wasn't a big deal. This was under the no duh principle. Duh, what are you going to do? But this is happening more and more. People are going to the ATM. They're in their car, maybe the drive-up ATM. They get their cash, they grab their receipt, they settle themselves. Then all of a sudden they don't grab their cash and the cash gets sucked back in. The banks are having difficulty telling people, hey, you did take out $640 out of your account. Huh? It's crazy. So the average bank will suck the money back in, ATM, in 30 seconds if you don't grab it, which I've never waited that long. I'm, a thief in the night. So anyways, share your thoughts on that stuff. The golf course here is beautiful on the other side. Please don't forget to the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Always send me these crazy stories, okay? The story that didn't make the cut today, there were wild monkeys in Florida, okay? Who knew? Maybe we'll have a special video on wild monkeys, okay? People are seeing wild monkeys in Florida. Again, if you've ever been to Florida and you've seen those iguanas that walk through, that scares the heck out of you, okay? I'll see you real soon.